Yo, what's up? It's Enrique, and I'm back with another video. And today's video is going to be unscripted, unedited, unplanned, because I want to experiment a little bit. I want to see how this goes and see if it works. New channel. So I want to reflect a little bit today on what it is to suffer. And I think, well, a lot of people say that suffering comes from desire, right? So essentially this is also what the Buddhists teach, right? So the end of all desire is the end of all suffering, is what the Buddhists say, and I really want to try to live by that, and I think a lot of people should as well, because we live in a world where we have so much of everything, and life is so easy that the more we get, the more we desire, and it's never enough, right? And this is nothing new. This is not like something that I'm coming up with right now. It's true that we live in a world, in a reality in which we just have so much of everything that, and for whatever reason, it's never enough. So how can we fight against this, right? I think one of the best ways is to remind ourselves that, again, that the end of all desire is the end of all suffering. So for instance, something falls on your foot, of course you're going to suffer, right? It hurts, you're going to be in pain. But you reach a point after you've reacted to that initial pain, that you have a choice whether to play this narrative in your head of, oh, why is this happening to me? Why has this happened to me? This hurts, blah, 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 blah. Or just to accept it and move on. And it's easier said than done. But when you accept it and move on, you're acknowledging the fact that this has happened, and you're not desiring any other outcome. What's happened has already happened. So you're not desiring an alternative reality in which this hasn't happened. So that's one way to suffer less. And this can be applied to anything. Your girlfriend breaks up with you, or you lose your job. You're going to suffer. But that suffering comes from a desire for an alternative reality. When you lose your job, you're going to suffer thinking, I wish I didn't lose my job, or I wish I were in a reality in which I was still at my job. So that's where the suffering comes from. It's from the desire of a reality that doesn't exist, that is impossible to exist. So I guess, most of us are not Buddhist monks, so it's not as easy just to say, I'm going to stop desiring. If you can do that, awesome. Congrats to you. That's very hard. But I guess something we can do is remind ourselves of that, and after we've suffered enough, to remind ourselves that we need to stop desiring an alternative reality when we can't do anything about it. This is different than setting goals and preparing for a better future and all that. That gives us drive and gives life purpose, as long as we're not making ourselves suffer with that. And sometimes suffering can bring better outcomes, sure. But sometimes we hold on to that suffering too much, and that's when we become unhappy, and our whole life becomes like that. And yeah, we just live a life filled with desire and suffering that we don't end up enjoying anything. So yeah, that's just something that I've been thinking about, and I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.